Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. How are you doing? I hope you are great and enjoying a lot these days. But I am sure you must be missing your school and teacher. We are missing you too. Dear students, in this video lecture, we are going to learn subtraction of two or more fractions. Subtraction of fractions is exactly the same as addition of fractions. So, in this lecture, we will solve question number 5 of exercise 3A, which is on page number 41 of your countdown 5. Students, I will highly suggest you to write down these steps with me. So, at the end of the lecture, you will be able to solve some problem on your own. So let's start the topic. First we learned to add fractions and now we are going to learn how to subtract them. And subtracting fractions is exactly the same as adding fractions. We have to follow the same steps that we have followed in the addition of the fractions. Subtraction of like fractions is very easy. Before solving the problem, let's revise that what exactly like fractions are. Like fractions are the fractions that have the exact same denominator. Example, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5. This represents 5 over 6. I have to subtract 4 over 6. If I take 4 over 6 from 5 over 6, only 1 over 6 is left. Now without the diagram you can see the denominators in our problem are same. So we will keep the same denominator in our answer and only subtract the numerators. I am going to solve one more example of like fractions. This is 8 over 9 minus 2 over 9. As you can see, the denominators are same, so we will only subtract the numerators. 8 minus 2 gives 6. And the denominator 9 will remain same. Now in the end, we have to check if our fraction can be simplified further. We have to check if there is any common factor of 6 and 9. Yes, there is a common factor, 3. So we will cut both 6 and 9 by 3. 3 2s are 6 and 3 3s are 9. So at the end we get a fraction 2 over 3. So this is the final answer. Now what about fractions with different denominators? Fractions with different denominators are called unlike fractions. In order to subtract unlike fractions, you need to find a common denominator to your fractions and then subtract like normal. Before moving to our exercise, let's discuss some general steps for subtracting unlike fractions. In step number 1, we will find the LCM of different denominators to get LCD. LCD means lowest common denominator. In step number 2, we will convert the numerators by multiplying. In third step, we will simply subtract the numerators. And in the last step, we will reduce the fraction in the lowest term if possible. So let's move to our exercise 3A of page number 41 and solve question number 5. This is the A part of question number 5, 3 over 8 minus 1 over 6. Students, as you can see, the denominators are not same, so we need to find a common denominator. In order to find the common denominator, we will take the LCM of both denominators, that is 8 and 6. So let's move to the rough work to find the LCM. We are going to write 8 and 6 separated by a comma. And now you have to check that whether both numbers 8 and 6 are divisible by the lowest prime number or not. Yes, they are. They both are divisible by the lowest prime number, which is 2. 2 times 4 is 8 and 2 times 3 is 6. We will repeat the same step and again check whether 4 and 3 are divisible by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, but 3 is not divisible by 2. So we will just write 3 as it is. Again repeat this step. 2 times 1 is 2 and write down 3 as it is. Then you can see that 3 is not divisible by 2. So we will move to the next prime number, that is 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. Now just write down the prime factors and multiply them together and you will get your LCM 24. Write the LCM as common denominator and move to step 2. Step number 2 is converting the numerators by multiplying. In this step, we need to find out what number multiplied by the first denominator give the LCM. For this, we can divide the LCM by first denominator in the rough work. You can see, students, that dividing 24 by 8 gives quotient 3. Pick the quotient 3 and multiply it with the first numerator, that is 3. Now do the same for the second fraction. We will find out what number multiplied by 6 gives 24. Yes, the number is 4. So now multiply it with the next numerator, that is 1, to get 4. So we did 3 times 3 equals 9 and 1 times 4 equals 4. Now move to step number 3. In step number 3, we will simply subtract the numerators. So subtract 4 from 9 to get 5. And the denominator 24 will remain same. There will be no change in the denominator. So our final fraction will be 5 over 24. Now in the final step, students, you have to check if you can reduce your fraction further. Is there any common factor of 5 and 24? No, there is no common factor. It means the fraction is already in the lowest term. And what kind of fraction it is? It is a proper fraction because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Let us move on to part B. This is 5 over 11 minus 1 over 3. Students, as you can see, the denominators are different. So in order to subtract them, we will find the common denominator. So let's take the LCM of denominators. So for this, write down 11 and 3 in the rough work and find their LCM. You have to check if both 11 and 3 are divisible by the lowest prime number, that is 2. So as you know, they are not divisible by 2. So let's move on to the next prime number, that is 3. 11 is not divisible, so write down it as it is. But yes, 3 is. So 3 1 is 3. So now 11 is left. 11 is a prime number, so 11 will be divisible by 11 and 1. So 11 1 is 11. In the end, we will get two prime factors. Let's multiply them to find the LCM, that is 33. Now write down the LCM as the common denominator. Now you have to check what number multiplied by the denominators give us LCM. We have to check what number multiplied by 11 gave us 33. You know that it's 3. Multiply 3 with the numerator 5. We will do the same for the second fraction. We have to check what number multiplied by 3 give us 33. As you know, the number is 11. You can also check it in the rough work. Now multiply the quotient with the numerator, that is 1. So what we did is 5 times 3 is 15 and 1 times 11 is 11. Now in the next step, we are going to subtract the numerators. Remember, the denominator remain same. Now 15 minus 11 is 4 and the denominator 33 stays same. So at the end we get a fraction 4 over 33. In the last step you have to check if your fraction can be reduced further. As you know that 4 and 33 don't have a common factor, so this is in the lowest term. So this is the complete solution of part B with all steps. Let's revise the steps. In first step, we found the common denominator for both fractions. In step 2, we converted the numerators by multiplying. Then we did the subtraction of numerators. And in the last step, we have to simplify the fraction in lowest term if possible. Students, did you find these problems interesting? Yes, they were very interesting and easy. Now solve C and D parts yourself on your rough register. We will now move on to subtraction of multiple fractions. So are you ready? Subtraction of multiple fractions is exactly the same as subtraction of two fractions. We will now solve part E and F of question number 5 from exercise 3A. This is page number 41 of countdown 5. In E part, we want to solve 8 over 7 minus 1 over 8 minus 3 over 4. Students, what kind of fractions these are? Yes, unlike fractions, because their denominators are different. So in order to find a common denominator, we will take the LCM of all denominators. Write 7, 8 and 4 in the rough work separated by the commas and check if they are divisible by the lowest prime number. 7 is not divisible, so it will be written as it is, and 2 4s are 8 and 2 2s are 4. 7 will again come as it is, 2 2s are 4 and 2 1 is 2. Again 7 will come as it is, but 2 1 is 2 and 1 will stay same. Now 7 1 is 7. Now multiply all the prime factors, that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 7, and we will get 56. This is the LCM. Now we will write the LCM as common denominator and move on to step 2. Now check what number multiplied by the denominator give us LCM. 7 times what number gives 56? Yes, the number is 8. We can also check it in rough work. Now we will multiply the quotient 8 with the numerator 8. Now do the same for the second fraction. Check what times 8 give us 56. The number is 7. So multiply 7 with the numerator 1. Finally, 4 times what number gives 56? We can check it in the rough work. Divide 56 by 4 and we will get 14. So we will multiply 14 with 3. So we did 8 times 8 to get 64, 1 times 7 to get 7 and 3 times 14 to get 42. Now in the next step, we are going to subtract the numerators. Remember, there will be no change in the denominator. It will remain same. First we will subtract 7 from 64, which gives us 57. And then we will subtract 42 from 57, which gives 15. And 56 will remain as it is. No change in the denominator. Now in the last step, check if the fraction can be simplified further. Is there any common factor for 15 and 56? No, there is no common factor of 15 and 56. So, it is in the lowest term. So, the final fraction or final answer is 15 over 56. What kind of fraction it is? Yes, it is a proper fraction. Why? Because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So part F is 15 over 16 minus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 2. Students, can you tell me the type of fractions? Yes, they are unlike fractions because the denominators are different. So in order to subtract these unlike fractions, we need to find a common denominator. Step number 1 is to find the LCM of 16, 4 and 2. So write down 16, 4 and 2 in the rough work and find their LCM. We have to check if these three numbers are divisible by the lowest prime number or not. Yes, they all are divisible by 2. 2 8s are 16, 2 2s are 4 and 2 1 is 2. Now move to the next step. 2 4s are 8, 2 1 is 2 and 1 will remain as it is. Then 2 2s are 4 and 1 will come as it is. Now only 2 is left, so 2 1 is 2. Now we will multiply all the prime factors, that is 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 2 and we will get the LCM 16. 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8 and 8 2s are 16. So we get the LCM 16. Now write 16 as common denominator and move to step 2. We have to check what number multiplied by denominator gives LCM. 16 times what gives 16? Very easy. 16 1 is 16. So multiply 1 with numerator 15. We will do the same for the second fraction. 4 times what gives 16? Yes, 4 4s are 16. So we will multiply 4 with the numerator 1. Now we will do the same with the next fraction. 2 multiplied by what gives 16? Yes, 2 8s are 16. So multiply 8 with the numerator 1. 15 1 is 15, 4 1 is 4 and 8 1 is 8. And in the third step, we will subtract the numerators. Remember, there will be no change in the denominator and 16 will come as it is in the denominator. Now let's subtract the numerators. First we will subtract 4 from 15 to get 11 and then 8 from 11 to get 3. So we get a numerator 3 and denominator 16 will remain same. Finally, the answer is 3 over 16. Now in last step, you have to check if 3 over 16 can be reduced further. No, it cannot be reduced because 3 and 16 don't have a common factor. So the fraction is in the lowest term. And 3 over 16 is a proper fraction because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So students, now we are done with fraction subtraction. Let's summarize these steps. So what was the first step? First you need a common denominator. Next, put common denominator straight away in the answer. Then convert the numerators by multiplying. Step number 4 is simply subtract the numerators. And last of all, reduce the fraction if possible for final answer. This brings us to the end of the video. I hope students you will find this video lecture helpful. In the next video, we will cover subtraction of mixed numbers. So now it's time to say goodbye, but don't forget to practice these problems in your rough register. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Have a great day.